Alright, today we're going to pick up with where we left off yesterday. We have 2 pages in our site, an index, a contact, and then we have a welcome to my page. We have a couple paragraphs with some strong formatted text, a picture, and an ordered list. First thing we need to do is we need to add a couple more pages to our site, and we're going to go to File, we're going to go to New, and we're going to go to Create. And then I'm going to save this as, instead of untitled, it will be about us.html. Notice it's in our site. Then we're going to go to File, New, HTML. And then we're going to go to File, Save As, Services.html. And notice they all appear in our File section inside our root folder, which is really, really cool. Alright. So now we're going to create links to them, and it's relatively simple. If I come over here to my home page, my index, and I press return after that, I can actually create an unordered list, and we're going to change this later, but for now this is what it's going to look like. We're going to type in home page, we're going to type in about us, we're going to type in services, and we're going to type in contact. And then I'm going to press return one more time, and I'm going to uncheck this ordered list, and we're going to type in go to Google. And you guessed it, we're going to actually make a link that goes to Google later after we get in here. Now, even though we're doing this in Design View, I expect you to know the code. Keep in mind, notice how this unordered list is formatted. UL followed by a closing out UL, and then we have the LIs that are also closed out after each element. Now, being in Design View and being that these pages are all within our site, there's a quick way that we can actually link these pages to one another. I'm going to click on Home Page, and then I'm going to click on this Browse for File folder. And notice it comes up with our IM Site 1 store. We're going to click on Index because that's what Home Page is in this case, and we're going to hit Choose. Notice how it turns blue. We're going to come down to About Us. Click that Browse File folder. We're going to click on it, you guessed it, About Us.html. Then we're going to click on Services. We're going to check on the Browse File folder, hit Services, and then lastly we're going to go down to Contact, and we're going to choose Contact. Alright, now if I preview this in our browser here, I'm going to preview this in Safari. It'll ask me if I want to have save changes, because notice I have a asterisk up here letting me know that things have changed and I need to save it. I'll hit save. Open this up. Notice that Site 1 is in my title, and if I click on About Us, it takes us to these pages, but there's nothing on there yet. Okay, so I'm going to close that out. And we will open this back up into Design View. Alright, so to get some content on the page, all I'm basically going to do is I'm going to highlight this first paragraph with the heading. I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to hit paste, and I might change this from welcome to my page to contact. We'll go to About Us, we'll hit paste, and you guessed it, I could spell About Us. And services, I will paste, and we will change this to services. Notice we have asterisks beside all three of them. Instead of having to go to each page and save them separately, we'll go to File, we will go to Save All, and notice the asterisks go away. So now if we preview this again, I'll choose Firefox this time. Actually, let me get on my home page here. And I go to Preview in Firefox. We'll go to About Us, where's the content, contact, all that stuff is there. Alright, so now we also need links to the other pages. So if I highlight all 4 of these, and actually notice how the code over here didn't catch it all. So I'm actually going to come to the code and highlight all of that. Then I'm going to right click, come over here to Contact, hit Return, press Command V. Come over to About Us, press return, Command V, come over to services, press Command V, and again we have asterisk, so we got to save, file, save all, preview in Firefox again this time, and if I go to services, contact, homepage, about us, homepage, contact, homepage, services, homepage, notice they all intertwine to one another. Content's not going to change because it's the same, but that's just placeholder for now. Alright, so now it comes back to this go to Google aspect, and this is on our index page, and notice that Google is not in our site. We don't have a page here for Google. It's a site that you go to, not one that would somebody would have in their site. So we have to treat it a little bit differently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the word Google because I don't want them to click on go to Google and have that be the link. I want to actually have the word Google be the link. Now with Google highlighted, I can come down to here to this links section, and this is really important because you need this because it's not in our local root folder. We're going to go to https://www.google.com. And if you want title, you can put Google, so if you hover your mouse over top of it, it'll even tell you. And notice we have this little target aspect. Well, a lot of times you don't want people to navigate away from your site, especially if you're selling something. So you want this window to open up in a new window. So we're going to click on this little arrow here, and we're going to choose _blank. And then notice all the code that we have here. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. So if we go to preview this in a browser, it'll ask me to save because I've made changes. And notice how Google is highlighted, but not go to. If I hover my mouse, it even says Google. And if I go to Google, it opens up in a separate window, which is kind of cool. Okay, so you guys are getting there. All right. Going to put a PDF on this site, so give me 1 second. I'm going to pause the recording and come back. PDF to use that you guys will be getting, but first we have to get that PDF into our site, and I think what we're going to do is if we might actually go to no, let's see, let's back out of here, out of Dreamweaver. And let's go to the IamSite1, and notice how we have IamSite1 images. We're going to create a new folder, and we're just going to call this PDF. So, if you had other things such as whatever you want to call them, you could make a folder, put them in there, and that's where they would go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that file that I had given you, which is let's see, is inside this day 2. I'm going to select it, and we're going to right click, and we're going to copy it just so that we can not lose it. And I'm going to actually open up the PDF folder here, and I'm going to paste that item so that PDF file is now inside that folder. Okay, and if I come back to Dreamweaver now, and if I hit refresh, notice that PDF folder is there, and it actually has the PDF file that we put. So if I come below contact here, actually let's go below Google. Let's press return, and let's just type in class roster PDF because that's the name of this. And if we highlight that, we can actually link to it. Now, are we able to use the browse for file option like we did before, or do we have to hard code it? Well, if you said browse for file, you're correct because the file is within our root folder. So I'm going to press browse, and I'm going to come to my PDF file, and I'm going to go to class roster, and I'm going to hit choose. Okay, notice how it turns blue. And if we go to preview in Firefox, we'll hit save because we've made changes. And if I click on it, it now goes to that PDF file. Okay. The only thing we might want to do with this is we might want to highlight this, and if we have it open up in a new window, and then that way people don't have to click back. So we'll preview in Firefox again. Yes, we want to save. Open it up in a new window, and notice that our PDF file is there. So it's really easy to attach files in this case. I want to open up CodeView real quick just so you can see what everything that we've done. And notice, like I said, we're using Design View to do this a lot, okay? But you are going to be responsible for understanding the code and the syntax. Notice that this is what we did to link our pages. Notice the syntax beside it. They're tucked in beside the LI. It went LI for list item, then we had a Mr. Pac-Man, an A, an href for hyperlink reference, equals, quotation marks, and then whatever the page that we link to. It's basically the same thing for Google, except because Google was outside of our local folder, we had to put the HTTPS with the www. To open up in a blank window, a separate window, you type in target equals quotation marks underscore blank quotation marks. And notice how that all was contained with inside this reference, hyperlink reference. Okay, and notice after Google, we closed out the A tag. Okay, and the nice thing too about Dreamweaver is that it does color code things. Notice how the reference ones are all green. The image is purple, and anything to do with image is purple, such as width, height, and any alternate text that we wanted. And like your general tags, like your P's and list items and unordered or ordered lists are all blue. All right, so we've done a lot today. And again, your page should look something, like this. As far as when we preview it, it should have our page. We should go to Google. We should go to the class roster, and we should be able to go to the home page, about us, services, contact, etc. So that's where we will end it for this session, and we will pick up next time.